in the appropriate areas. Yes, all of us must be called upon together to make those responsible cuts. But it's not through division, it's not through adversarial relationships, but it's in all of us coming together, looking for a common cause, looking for a common good, and that is for the good of our community. Yes, we all have to make sacrifices, and as we move forward, we will be able to achieve the very best for all of our county and for our employees. I do definitely support our employees and thank them for their hard work and for their moving ahead on the recent contract negotiations. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Go. Mayor Tarver, I'll go ahead and repeat the question. Public employee pensions have become a key issue, both locally and throughout the state. What are your views on this issue, and what can the county do to address it?
Well, number one, we all know that taxpayers can't afford to continue to pay for these absorbent retirement plans. And you're absolutely right. We need to definitely share the burden, but the only problem is you got to look at the individuals that are already there at the door. It's got to be fair both ways. I mean, because if you think for 1 minute they want to pick that up, you better think again. And I think that that if you, depending on the way you deal with that, you get more people buying into what it is you want to do. And we all need to take a cut somewhere. But again, not only asking the taxpayers, because we're already suffering enough with what, 37% unemployment out in my area. I mean, how can we absorb all those costs, those retirement costs, for folks out there or anywhere else? It's pretty dang tough. But it's working in sharing the burden for everyone, but it needs to be presented the correct way in order for folks to buy into it.
Thank you, Mayor Tarver. We're moving on to our fourth question. Supervisor Go, we have received multiple requests through social media, Facebook, and Twitter to ask candidates about their stance on immigration issues. We understand that the role of the county supervisor offers little to no authority over immigration policy. However, we live in a border state, and our county has a large agriculture industry. Given these circumstances, what is your stance on U.S. immigration policy?
It's been heart-wrenching to see the impact of a federal immigration system that has failed to properly address a large segment of our society. My family immigrated to the United States when I was 7, and I've seen the amazing benefits of becoming an American citizen in our wonderful country. And I think all those who are here desire to have those amazing benefits. Unfortunately, the federal system has not functioned properly, and it has left a lot of loopholes. We're faced with people who are able to get across the borders without our borders being secured properly. And the consequences of them being here then is that they don't get the rights that we all enjoy because our federal system is broken. We have to fix that first. But from a point of compassion, with those who are here, we have to see that God values every one of them as a human being. And what I choose to do as an individual, I have to look at them as God sees them and be able to serve them with equity, with fairness, with equality, with compassion, and with love. That's what I've chosen to do in volunteering my services for Garden Pathways for 6 years. I didn't ask anything about their immigration status. It was purely serving them out of a heart of love. So we have to get the federal system correct. At the same time, we have to act as compassionate human beings, and that's what I choose to do, and that's what I choose to commit to all the residents of the 5th District and to our county.
Thank you, Supervisor Go. Mayor Tarver.
Well, as you know, living in Arvin, there's quite a few immigrants in there, but you know, doing the job as a mayor, I have never once asked anybody if they were illegal. I just see people. And the sad thing about it is when you see kids that can't go anywhere after they graduate from college that's been on constitution teams and scored very high at the state level. I mean, very intelligent and productive and would be productive in anybody's community. So you have to ask yourself, And I asked myself quietly, and I said, you know, I coached basketball. I have coached basketball for 5 years, girls, okay? And not once did it ever come to my mind about immigration on one of those girls. Not one. They're just kids, and they're here to better themselves and have a better life, for quality of life. And the federal government needs to do something, because I think that what they've got in their mind, if you look at them all, they're pretty old, and they're kind of stereotyping what they're actually seeing, because they're not seeing what I see when some of the girls come to my house or a student comes by my office. They're not seeing that. They're seeing something totally different. It's totally different. But and it's sad too, because we've come this far and nothing's been done.
Thank you, Mayor Tarver. Ms. Perez?
The immigration crisis in America is one of the greatest human tragedies that we have, both locally, on a statewide level, and throughout the country, because we have families that are mixed status, and they are often ripped apart in the middle of the night. They are put into situations that are grossly inhumane. I've recently read a study where children who are typically removed from families in this environment that are American, because they're born here, end up in a foster care system that is grossly inadequate to care for their needs. Often many of the family members and relatives who are here do not have the paperwork to be in this country, and so the child ends up trapped in a system where they are ultimately unloved, uncared for, and unwanted. I find that situation to be totally and completely unacceptable. I think it's cruel, and I think it is the job of people who are in power, be it at the local level, state level, or otherwise, to assertively and aggressively work to make the conditions in America fair and humane for all people who are here. We have a remarkably broken immigration system. It is cruel to some people, it is fair to others, and it is overall a human crisis in America. And so we should think very honestly about the conditions that we put families in, hardworking families. None of us like crime or criminals. We all think that bad behavior should be prosecuted. That has nothing to do with immigration. The immigration crisis in America is something that it disproportionately impacts people in the 5th District because of the population that is there, and we should all find it unacceptable and do what we can to lobby those people and friends that we have who can help make the situation better for families around us, because it's the right thing to do.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. Mayor Tarver, you're going to be first on question number 5, and question number 5 is, some California counties have experimented with creating a stronger executive management position, essentially making department heads report to a county executive officer instead of the Board of Supervisors. Do you support this concept? Why or why not?
Can you back out a little bit?
Oh, sorry, yes.
It's kind of echoing.
Some California counties have experimented with creating a stronger executive management position, essentially making department heads report to a county executive officer instead of the Board of Supervisors. Do you support this concept? Why or why not?
Some counties.
Some some counties in California have implemented a system where instead of reporting to the Board of Supervisors, they are reporting to an executive officer, which is like the middle person.
Well,
Sorry, these are the questions that came in via Facebook.
okay. My feelings on that is, number one, is whoever the Board of Supervisors is an elected official. And I believe that the community and the people hold those individuals accountable for whatever happens. Now, if they're reporting to a second level person that doesn't have any types of rankings, that really doesn't make sense to me.
I think we need to rephrase the question.
Yeah, I don't.
There is a